Hey foodies, welcome to CookingShooking. Many of you were asking me for a recipe of puff pastry and cream rolls. Today we are going to do the same. Let's make the perfect bakery style cream rolls. Doesn't that look perfect? Now let's make it. In a bowl, we will add 2 cups of plain flour or Maida, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt and 25 grams of puff margarine. Yes, we are using puff margarine instead of butter for this recipe for better results. Now we have to make a stiff dough using all of these ingredients and some water, and we have to knead it really well for about 20 minutes or so. That's quite tiring, isn't it? So we are going to use a machine today, and it's the same one that I used in my rainbow cake video, and many of you were asking me about it, so here it is. So guys, this is Tefal India's Masterchef Gourmet stand mixer, and yes, this is available in India. The best part is it is not just a stand mixer but an all-in-one machine for all your kitchen works. That is because it comes with a 4.6 liter bowl and 11 attachments including juicer, blender, mincer, shredder, grater, slicer and kneading, beating and whipping attachments with a cover. Isn't that cool? Now let's make the dough. Here I am using the die cast dough hook for the job, and we'll add little water at a time to form a stiff dough. As I said earlier, if you make this dough by hands, it will take you about 20 minutes, but this powerful 900 watt motor with this planetary movement of this machine will ensure we get a well kneaded dough in just a few minutes. Here you can see the dough looks ready, and we will take it out and smoothen it. After about 30 seconds, the dough looks great. Now we will make slices in the dough for the gluten to relax. Guys, please do not skip this step. You have to make the slices in the dough, otherwise the gluten won't relax well. And if the gluten doesn't relax well, your puff pastry won't rise. Now we will cover the dough and let it rest for about 1 hour. After 1 hour, we will take the dough out in a working platform and sprinkle some dry flour. And then we will start flattening it with fingers. Looks good. Now we will take a baleen or a rolling pin and then start rolling it in a rectangular shape in about a centimeter thickness. Keep adding dry flour in between if you need to. Here I have rolled the dough and it is ready. Now we will laminate it with some fat. Here I have about 160 grams of puff pastry margarine. Since the margarine is a little stiff, we will smoothen it by kneading it for about a minute. Today I am using Golden Sprite margarine. You can also use Marvo Lily Star. These both are very common and mostly used for puff pastry in the Indian bakeries. And yes, if you want me to make this using butter, let me know. The process is slightly different, but the results are absolutely amazing. So let me know. You can see how I have started spreading the fat in the roll dough right now with my fingers in an even layer. For this step, I am not going to use all the 160 grams of it. I am just going to use about 140 grams. After spreading the fat, we will sprinkle some dry maida on top. Now this is the first layering stage or the first lamination. For that, mentally divide this roll sheet into 4 portions. We will take 1/4 of the portion and then fold it. Now repeat it from the other side. Now we will clean up the top and the bottom of this by folding them in, and then we will apply a little bit of that remaining fat. Now fold it again like a book. This is known as a book fold. Now we will press and roll it using a baleen again to stick it together. This will also soften it so that we can fold it further. Now we have a long sheet of dough, isn't it? We will fold it further, but before that, mentally divide it into 3 portions. Now we will apply a little bit of the remaining fat and then fold 1/3 of the dough from one side. Then we will apply the remaining bit of fat. Fold it again. Now this is known as a letter fold. Here we have got something in a square shape and this looks good. We will now cover this with a damp cloth and let it rest for about 10 minutes. After about 10 minutes, we will take a balun again to soften it and thin it down. Now again we have to roll it into 1 cm thickness. Now we have to fold it again, but you do not have to apply any fat. So mentally first divide it into 4 portions, fold it and then fold it again. Then roll it a little bit. After that, mentally divide it into 3 portions, fold it and fold it again. This is how the local bakeries do, and this looks good, isn't it? In this dough portion we have over 280 layers of dough and fat. All the layering and lamination is done. We have to now cover it and let it rest for about 10 minutes, or you can just start rolling it right now itself. Here I am sprinkling some dry flour and then I am rolling it. Please do sprinkle some dry flour in between, otherwise it can stick to the surface. Once again I am rolling it into 1 cm thickness. Now we will use a pizza cutter and cut it into 1 cm long strips. I'm not good at consistency, you can see right here. Some are thick, some aren't, but that shouldn't be a problem. Our puff pastry strips are absolutely ready. Now we'll make the rolls out of it. So here I'm using some cone molds. These are easily available in the market. Here I'm using the aluminum ones. We will just take the dough strips and roll it in this. For every cream roll it will take you about 3 to 4 strips, but that completely depends. Small tip, you can also make it using paper cones. So you can take a paper like this and then fold it. So this paper cone have to be covered with some aluminum foil. After that, this paper cone is also ready for making cream rolls. Here I have made all the rolls and they are looking good. I have placed them in a butter paper lined baking tray, and now we will apply some milk on top. To bake these, we will place them in a preheated oven in the middle rack with the both rods on at 200 degrees centigrade for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, we will lower the temperature to 150 degrees centigrade and bake it for another 20 minutes. After 40 minutes of baking, our cream rolls are ready. But they are very hot right now. We will wait for them to cool down. While the rolls are cooling down to room temperature, let's prepare the cream for it. So we will need 200 ml of whipping cream. I am using the same machine right now, just that the attachment is the whipping one. As we are whipping the cream, you can notice how I used a very small amount in this 4.6 liter bowl, and still it's not a problem for this machine. All thanks to the patented FlexWix technology and this planetary movement it is using. In just a few minutes you can see our cream is whipped. It looks very fluffy and thick. Perfect to pipe in. Now our cream rolls are also at room temperature. We will take them out. If you like some chocolate, you can also dip them in some dark chocolate like I am doing right now, but it is totally optional. Here I am basically using some melted chocolate and then dipping the top portion of the rolls and then keeping them in a chilled plate. Trust me, cream rolls and chocolate together is absolutely delicious. The chocolate that I added is completely set. We will now fill them with the whipped cream. Here I am using a piping bag and I am filling them generously with some whipped cream. Finally, I have sprinkled some nuts on top. You can also sprinkle some cherries if you like it. Cream rolls are ready, time to serve them. Doesn't that look perfect? Let me break one piece and show it to you. You can see it is very well filled, the texture is perfect, it is very flaky too, isn't it? So guys, the recipe is done and I want you to try this at your home. That is because I have been making puff pastry at home for the past 5 years and believe me, there is nothing like homemade puff pastry. I know it's time consuming, but the effort is all worth. So do try it and share your experience with me. Once again, if you like me to make it using butter, let me know, I'll do that soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in my next one. Until next time, make sure to click the subscribe button and ring the bell icon beside it so that you get notified as soon as I post new videos on the channel. Do like the video if you like it. Bye, take care, happy cooking.